Those years in quest of honor mine. Chapter 82. Yushi turned his head to the side to quietly ask the person outside, "Why is he here?" The family soldier following outside the horse carriage lowered his voice to say, "Young Master Zhong doesn't have a fever today." After taking care of some official business for Yushizi at the estate, he felt bored, so he said he was going to come pick Yushizi up. Yushi lightly stated, "Nonsense." Yushi was worried about waking Zhongwan up. His voice was very soft. None of you stopped him from leaving. The family soldier could only admit his mistake. He then asked if they should leave or not. Yushi sat in the horse carriage and carefully shook his head. "Not yet. Let him sleep a while longer." The family soldier stood guard outside the horse carriage. Yushi fell into a daze in the carriage as he stared at Zhongwan. Almost half an hour later, Zhongwan coughed twice and woke up. Upon catching sight of Yushi, Zhongwan instantly became alert. "You've come out?" Yushi calmly asked, "Where's the girl?" Zhongwan smiled. "I sent her back for you." Yushi froze. "You sent her back? What? So, Yushizi didn't actually want to send her back?" Zhongwan chuckled. "Well, too late. I've already apologized to the emperor for you." Zhongwan rubbed his shoulders. "That person didn't even get brought out. I got lucky today, too. I wanted to come pick you up, so got here a bit early. When I got here, I coincidentally saw some people coming out of the palace, saying that they wanted to move your horse carriage inside to load someone on. I figured out what was going on and asked about it. Just as well, those two eunuchs both recognized me and were willing to send a message for me. So, as you can see, I made a trip into the palace and sorted everything out for you." Yushi glanced at Zhongwan with slight disapproval. Zhongwan comforted him by saying, "It wasn't such a big deal. The Empress just suddenly had an idea and wanted to give you someone. She was probably trying to ingratiate herself to the Emperor." For a moment, Yushi paused. Then he said, "It might have been Imperial Consort Yu's idea, just to upset me." Zhongwan thought about it and nodded. "That's possible too." Yushi still couldn't rest at ease. "What did you say? Did the Emperor make things difficult for you? What about the others? Did they say anything to you?" "He didn't make things difficult for me," Zhongwan replied easily. "The Emperor's not an idiot. He probably also realized that someone was purposefully setting you up. He's only willing to do easy business. Upon seeing that you were truly against this, he didn't say anything else." Yushi scanned Zhongwan up and down. "He really didn't make things difficult for you?" Zhongwan slightly leaned in Yushi's direction. He lowered his voice as he said, "If you're worried, how about double-checking for yourself? See if there are any injuries on my body." Yushi twisted his body to avoid Zhongwan. "Quit playing around." Zhongwan chuckled. He obediently returned to his seat and said, "Relax. I know that you only know how to go head-to-head with the Emperor. This was just a trivial matter. I blocked it for you and didn't offend the Emperor while doing so. If you were the one taking care of this, you probably would have caused another big fuss, right?" Yushi fell silent. Zhongwan cocked an eyebrow. "I told you a long time ago, leave these things to me. I'll deal with them nicely and neatly." Yushi had to admit that this was true. Zhongwan was much more thorough than he was when it came to these matters. He was also less aggressive. Zhongwan looked outside. "Are we still not leaving?" Yushi ordered the family soldiers to start heading back. He grabbed Zhongwan's hand and said, "Could it be that you've dealt with similar instances in the past for Xianrui, too? You acted as if you've experienced this before." Yushi had only offhandedly asked this question in order to take a prod at Xianrui in passing. He didn't believe that anyone in Jianan would forcefully stuff anybody into Xianrui's bedroom. Unexpectedly, Zhonwan's smile froze on his face after hearing this. Yushi was in disbelief. It really happened before. Zhonwan laughed nervously. Yushi scoffed and said, which family was so blind to give their perfectly fine daughter to someone like him? No matter how useless he is, he was still at least a prince of the second rank at that time. There would always be people trying to flatter him. Zhonwan leaned against the window of the carriage. After a brief thought, he continued, however, it wasn't for him. It was. Yushi waited for Zhonwan to continue speaking. Zhonwan pondered a bit and said with slight embarrassment, it was for me. Yushi's expression instantly changed. Yushi honestly didn't know if Zhonwan had ever had anyone in his bedroom these past few years. He narrowed his eyes. When did this happen? Zhonwan shook his head. It was a long time ago. Let's not mention it anymore. Yushi's expression was normal, but he was already very displeased in his heart. How could he not mention it? It's not like I touched her, said Zhonwan. Does Yushizi still want to fuss over this matter? Then Zhonwan whispered, or are you jealous? Yushizi, whether or not I'm a virgin, don't you know better than anyone? A flame ignited in Yushi's heart. He wasn't fooled by Zhonwan at all. He refused to allow Zhonwan to stick so close to him. He squeezed Zhonwan's chin and simply stated, speak. Zhonwan felt regretful. Everything had been going well. Why had he brought up this topic? Zhonwan thought about it and answered, how many years ago was this? I forgot. Anyways, it happened many years ago. I had just recovered from my great illness, Zhonwan slowly started. Our estate was holding a rare banquet. They said it was to help me get rid of my bad luck. That day, I got over a lot of things, so I was in a pretty good mood, too. Though I still hadn't fully recovered, I drank quite a lot. Yushi's voice was low. Were you drunk? Yushi remembered very clearly that Zhonwan could hold his alcohol fairly well. It was hard to get him completely drunk. Half drunk, I guess, Zhonwan answered after thinking about it. I wobbled while walking and needed someone to hold me up, but I was still of relatively clear mind. Yushi asked, and then? And then? I originally wanted to say a few things to Xianrui, but every time I opened my mouth, he'd coaxed me into drinking more alcohol. I thought, just as well. We're all men. What's there to say? It's just liquor. In the end, we drank until the latter half of the night. I honestly couldn't drink any more. Thus, I told someone to help me over to my own courtyard. Zhonwan had stumbled into his own courtyard, taken a gulp of water and prepared to pass out on his bed. Unexpectedly, when he drew back the door curtain of the bedroom, he saw a rather good-looking girl sitting on his bed. Zhonwan had practically sobered up on the spot. The girl was extremely shy. She hadn't known if she was supposed to be standing or sitting. She nervously looked at Zhonwan. Zhonwan felt dizzy. He held himself up with the door frame and asked lowly, "Did the prince told you to come?" The girl nodded in a timid manner. At the time, Zhonwan hadn't even been 20. He had still looked like a youth. The girl didn't know whether to call him young master or master. She softly said, "Prince said, that I'm here to apologize for him." Upon hearing this, Zhonwan had suddenly bent over and guffawed. He had laughed for a very long time. The girl had thought that he had gone crazy. After laughing for long enough, Zhonwan wiped his face and placed his hands together as he politely saluted at the girl. "Sleep well, my lady. I'll send you back to where you came from tomorrow." The girl nervously asked, "Where are you going?" "Me." Zhonwan drunkenly waved his hands around. I'm going to admire the moon." After saying this, Zhonwan had exited the room. He shut the door tightly behind him and stumbled out of his own courtyard. He made his way into the garden and sat on the handrail of the hallway while leaning against the hallway pillars. All night, he sat there, humming a tune that others couldn't decipher. Yushi's brows were furrowed tightly together. You spent the night outside. Even if I hadn't touched her, if I had slept in the same courtyard as her overnight, her reputation would have been ruined. Zhongyuan sighed. Was there a need for that? It wasn't like I liked her. Why would I ruin her reputation? The next day, I sent her home. She was from a village-dwelling family who didn't mind about these things. Later on, she married a good person. Yushi fell silent for a moment. He asked, "This was the apology Xian Rui gave you after that imperial doctor poisoned you?" Zhongyuan sighed. He obviously didn't want to talk about this anymore. Yushi gazed at Zhongyuan, but couldn't keep the hatred in his heart down no matter what. Yushi asked, "You never told me in the past about how Xian Rui apologized to you after your run-in with death. That was all he did? He thought that giving you a woman would be enough to pretend like nothing had happened." Zhongyuan fell silent for a moment before saying, "I originally wanted to clear things up with him. At the time, I thought that he had matured too, that there were many things I could now share with him. Otherwise, we would have knots in our hearts later on, but Xian Rui avoided this topic a lot. He didn't want to talk about it at all. He did all of that for nothing, too." Zhongyuan glanced at Yushi. In the blink of an eye, the disappointment in his gaze had already disappeared. Zhongyuan told Yushi quietly, tone slightly teasing, "I don't like girls anyways." Yushi looked at Zhongyuan in silence. He knew very well in his heart that Zhongyuan was only lightening the mood. The Zhongyuan back then had slept in the garden of the estate, taking the sky as his canopy and the earth as his mattress. Who knew how disappointed and depressed he had felt in his heart? His younger brother, whom he had treated in an honest and sincere manner, had stuffed a woman into his room after he had almost died, hoping this would keep his mouth shut and allow him to forget the mishaps of the past. He wanted him to continue risking his life for Prince Jian'an's estate. A heart full of passion had ultimately been fed to a dog. Yushi had long since planned out Xian Rui's future in his heart. Upon thinking of this, he instantly changed his plan. He absolutely couldn't treat that thing too well. "I said I didn't want to mention it." Zhongyuan pulled out a wax paper package from his breast pocket and excitedly presented this treasure to Yushi. "Look at what this is." Yushi lowered his head and looked down. Jujube cake. The cake was intricately made. It didn't seem like something that could be made by a street vendor. Yushi asked, "Where did you buy this?" "It's what the emperor who treated me to this just now." Yushi carefully broke off a piece. "I worried that it would get cold, so kept it in my chest all this time." "Try it." Yushi was in disbelief. "How did you bring out the refreshments the emperor gave you to eat?" Zhongyuan replied innocently, "I asked him for some. It tasted good to me, so I wanted you to try some, too." Zhongyuan had probably eaten a lot of cake himself. His words were so sweet it was like they had been dipped in honey. He was scared that the family soldiers would start laughing at him upon hearing this, so very quietly said, "I don't know what's wrong with me either. When I see or taste good things, you're the first person I think of." Yushi lowered his gaze. The corners of his lips quirked up uncontrollably. He honestly couldn't imagine how Zhongyuan had nonchalantly asked Emperor Chang'an for cake after rejecting a concubine in his stead. Zhongyuan was probably the only person who could both eat food in the palace and bring food out of the palace. "Try it." Zhongyuan fed Yushi. "It's still warm." Yushi lowered his head and ate the cake. As expected, it was very sweet. Yushi mumbled around a mouthful of cake, "It's so hot." "Did you get burned?" Zhongyuan uncaringly shook his head. Yushi didn't believe him. He personally shifted part of Zhongyuan's collar away. When he saw the slight red mark on the other's chest, he furrowed his brows. "This was just to make you happy, you know." Zhonwan fixed his collar. Oh right. Let's make a deal. Over the next few days, Xianjing might come looking for me, wanting to cause trouble. Can you Shizi help me block him? Are you scared of him? Yushi didn't take this to heart. How did you offend him? Zhonwan explained bitterly, it was originally out of good intentions. I left the estate early, so I decided to go see him first. I wanted to ask about Lindsay. Unexpectedly. Yushi lifted his gaze. Unexpectedly what? Zhonwan sighed. Unexpectedly, as I was leaving his estate, I accidentally broke one of his possessions. Yushi apathetically said, tell him to get an appraisal for it. I'll compensate him with 10 times the object's worth. Zhonwan's expression was strange. A pause later, he carefully stated, it was a Liuli cup. Yushi furrowed his brows. He suddenly felt like that sounded a bit familiar. Zhonwan confessed, the one that took him over a month to piece back together. It really wasn't my fault. His servant is still just a child. He's very clumsy and seems really timid, too. While entering the inner room to bring tea, he tripped over the doorstep. All I did was help him keep his balance. I hadn't expected that my sleeve would just so happen to brush against the damned object. Yushi. Zhonwan said with a bitter expression, he said he's going to kill me. Yushi actually felt a bit sympathetic towards Xianjing. However, the fact that Zhonwan had snuck out some refreshments from the palace for him was honestly too endearing. As of now, Yushi's entire heart had already gone soft. He was no longer principled. He nodded with difficulty. Yes, it wasn't your fault. It was that Liuli cup's own fault. Yushi even placated Zhonwan by saying, it's a good thing you found something he could busy himself with. Otherwise, he might get uncomfortably bored and come looking for me to cause trouble. After he had mentioned this, Zhonwan's heart hurt even more. Feeling pained, he asked, do you know what he told me during my visit this time? Yushi gazed at Zhonwan. Can you believe it? Zhonwan was in utter disbelief. These days, Xianjing is very diligently investigating whether Xianqiang's near-drowning incident at the palace last time was because he had jumped in himself or because you had pushed him in. Yushi. The more he thought about it, the more pained Zhonwan felt. He secretly told me that figuring this out would mean he might be able to understand a lot more things. Yushi got out with difficulty, can't Lindsay remind him that we've already started fighting for the position of Crown Prince now? Lindsay hasn't even seen him yet. Zhonwan felt incredibly worried. Say, why do you think Xianjing is so unlucky? When we all attended classes together in the early years, he couldn't keep up. Now, we're fighting for the position of Crown Prince but he still can't keep up. But that's fine, too. Everyone else can fight each other while he only fights himself. And his fight with himself is very exciting. Even to this day, he's still worried that you or Xianqiang will use that Liuli cup to ruin him. He thinks you two might go tattle on him to the emperor, saying that he ruined a gift from the emperor. Yushi expressionlessly shook his head. I'm not bored enough to do that. Zhonwan wrung his wrists in despair. It's been half a year, a whole 6 months. Nobody has reminded him, nobody has disrupted him. He's still hung up over his Liuli cup. Yushi was speechless. He reluctantly promised, fine. You owe him one. I promise, as long as he doesn't try to harm me in the future, I won't try to harm him, either. End chapter. Those years in quest of honor mine. Chapter 83. Once Yushi had reached the door to his estate after rushing there, he finally realized what happened. Before he disembarked from the carriage, Yushi grasped Zhonwan's wrist and said in a low voice, what are you playing at? Are you pretending to be pitiful for Xianjing's sake? Having figured out by Yushi, Zhonwan did not try to hide it. He laughed and asked, are you angry? Yushi did not comment. Zhongyuan honestly said, "It's true that I pretended to be pitiful for his sake. It's also true that he's too stupid." A smile spread across Yushi's mouth. He threw his own cloak to Zhongyuan. "Wrap it around you before you hop down." The evening meal had yet to be fully prepared. Yushi first ordered people to summon the imperial physician. He wanted him to examine Zhongyuan's chest and see if it was truly scalded. Zhongyuan complained with no end, saying, "I merely fell asleep by accident and forgot about this, letting the heat burn this red mark. It's really not a big deal. Don't make people call me delicate again. I didn't go outside for these past 2 months, and didn't know there are all types of rumors about me. My reputation has been completely ruined." Innocently, Yushi said, "Nonsense. When have I ever tarnished your reputation?" Zhongyuan dared to be angry but not show it. Many years ago, he had caused a lot of rumors to spread about Yushi, and now this was karma. It was his turn now. Actually, he didn't have a position to question Yushi. Today, when he had left the estate, he heard from the old eunuch of Xianjing's palace many rumors about himself. They startled Zhongyuan. If he had not known that those rumors were about him, he would have also believed them. Zhongyuan truly did not want any other strange rumor to spread about him. In a miserable manner, he said, "If you can't be at ease, then look at it yourself." Yushi frowned. "I don't have any medical experience." Although he had said this, Yushi took a look outside. It seemed the imperial physician would not arrive so soon. He rose to his feet. Let down the curtains to the inner chamber. Then he made his way in front of Zhongyuan. After a moment of slight hesitation, he unbuttoned the button to Zhongyuan's collar. Zhongyuan slightly raised his head to make it convenient for Yushi's actions. Yushi undid his clothes and once again took a look. He felt like the red mark on Zhongyuan's chest grew an even deeper red. "Did you get this from a burn?" Zhongyuan raised his head to look at Yushi, the jut in his throat bobbing a bit. "Is it only this spot? What about below?" Just now, Yushi had not checked lower. After hearing his words, he frowned. "Your belly got scalded too." Yushi undid Zhongyuan's clothes a bit more, examining his flat belly. "There's nothing red below. Where does it still hurt?" Pursing his lips, Zhongyuan whispered, "Go lower. Help me take a look." Yushi's fingers paused. Then he realized something. Yushi stared into Zhongyuan's eyes. Calmly, he asked, "Goyuan, did you actually heated up the jujube cake just now by sandwiching it between your legs? How could you be this frivolous?" Zhongyuan failed at flirting with Yushi. Embarrassed, he coughed. "Of course not." But Yushi was ruthless. "If not, then why does it hurt so much down there?" The imperial physician carried the medicine case as he approached the room. Yushi let go of Zhongyuan, lifted open the curtains, and ordered the imperial physician to examine Zhongyuan's wound. Yushi would hardly hide things out of embarrassment. In fact, he cooperated with the imperial physician to a great degree, carefully explaining this matter to him. The red mark on Zhongyuan's chest was left by a burn from the jujube cake. And Zhongyuan had carried this pastry to Yushi for Yushi to eat. The imperial physician criticized in his heart, "It doesn't matter who this jujube cake is for. If it causes an injury, then it causes an injury. All right, there are no blisters. We can apply a bit of ointment for the scalding," said the imperial physician seriously after examining the injury. "Don't let it touch water. After a few days, when the outer layer of the skin peels off, it will be better." Yushi nodded and instructed the imperial physician to leave behind the medicine. As they ate their dinner, Zhongyuan said, "If imperial consort Yu's plan fails this time, would she come find trouble with you again?" Yushi helped pick up food for Zhongyuan, placing it in the latter's bowl. "Probably. However, she just comes up with these small plans again and again. At most, they just disgust me. These tricks can't do much. Zhongyuan muttered to himself, she has no true power in her hands, and also has Tang Qin watching her every move. She's unable to make any large waves. Right now, we're afraid of Prince Yu's side. Prince Yu. What did he do these past few days? Do you know? He's bearing it patiently and doing nothing unusual, said Yushi. After falling into a trap due to the two of us, he suffered the crimes of someone else twice. So, he won't be so easily fooled by us anymore. At present, the Emperor does not allow anyone to see Suan Kaiang. Now Prince Yu is out of plans. In these 2 days, if I guessed correctly, he's quietly hiding all the human testimonies and material evidence. He wants to reverse the verdict given to your estate. Zhongyuan was shocked. Our estate? Are you talking about the Zhong state or Prince Ning's estate? Prince Ning's, said Yushi. Since he has the intention to turn Xian Rui into a puppet emperor, then he would need to reverse the verdict given to Prince Ning's case. To make the imperial clan members and high-ranking court officials believe that back then, the previous emperor truly wanted to confer Prince Ning the position of crown prince. There are many people with the surname of Xian in this generation. This is the simplest and most reasonable way of proving Xian Rui is the destined one. Yushi laughed at himself. However, there's nothing wrong with this. Back then, if it weren't for these people stealing the throne, Prince Ning would have smoothly ascended the throne. And the person who should be the emperor now would be Xian Rui. Yushi looked at Zhongyuan. Gui Yuan, what are you trying to fight for in Xian Rui's sake? I'm not talking about currently. I'm talking about the past. You were friends with him back then, right? Zhongyuan swallowed the food in his mouth. He laughed in a relaxed manner. I wasn't trying to fight for anything. From the start, Xian Rui had the chance to ascend the throne. However, that's not because he's more skilled than others, said Zhongyuan dully. It's because Prince Ning was very intelligent, which made the previous emperor favor him immensely. He merely received benefits from his affiliation with Prince Ning. Zhongyuan sighed. Even Prince Ning did not become the emperor. So how could Xian Rui have this fortune? Moreover, I just hoped they would survive, and did not think of something like this. No, said Zhongyuan after thinking a bit and furrowing his brows. At present, Xian Rui is considered in your hands. Why would Prince Yu change his plans so quickly? Xian Kaiang still has the chance to become the emperor. Why did he spend this much time and energy on Xian Rui? Yushi took a sip of soup. A good while later he said, who knows? Maybe, he felt that as long as Xian Rui lives, he can become a puppet. It's merely spending a bit of time to transport him back to Prince Yu's estate. He's certain that I won't kill Xian Rui at least. As such, he's able to be this at ease. After thinking about it, Zhongyuan also found it reasonable. Other people misunderstood Yushi. However, Prince Yu should be very clear that no matter how ruthless Yushi showed himself to be, he wasn't actually a cruel person who killed whenever he pleased. Yushi said softly, let him torment himself. Isn't this great? Zhongyuan laughed in spite of himself. You're borrowing Prince Yu's hand to help our family reverse the verdict, right? Yushi smiled carelessly. Again, Zhongyuan thought for a moment. Then he felt assured. Then in the future, your days would be a lot more pleasant. Yushi raised his brows. What do you mean? If Prince Yu has this intention, then he certainly would draw in his claws and act in the shadows, said Zhongyuan. He'll pretend to be content with his lot, and naturally would not oppose you tit for tat. Nevertheless, he would act like he lost. Zhongyuan had guessed correctly. The following half a month, Prince Yu drew in his claws on the surface. After Emperor Chang'an had openly and covertly scolded Prince Yu, he took it well-behavedly. He did not try to explain for himself. Whether it was Xian Kaiang's matter or other trivial things, As long as Prince Yu was held accountable, he would admit to it. And he even admitted to it very sincerely. One after the other, the booklets that spoke of his humble apology were sent to the emperor, lowering his position more and more. As if he truly accepted his wrongs and tolerated Emperor Chang'an recognizing Yushi as his son, no longer daring to complain even a little. Meanwhile, Prince Yu acted in secret. What had happened in that year had originally been the combined efforts of him and Emperor Chang'an. On that day, he hid something. Other than the servants who had waited on young imperial consort Zhong, there were many more human testimonies and material evidence like them. It was more convenient for Prince Yu to do something like this than other people. Whether Emperor Chang'an was enchanted was anyone's guess. Yushi and Zhonwan definitely would not trust Prince Yu. Zhonwan was up to mischief, and told Yushi to ask the cabinet for help. To make a lot of trouble for Prince Yu. Since he wanted to pretend like he was obedient, if they didn't bully him now, then when could they bully him? Yushi was certain about this. Ever since that day, apart from earnestly making trouble for Prince Yu, Zhonwan had one other task, picking up Yushi and escorting him back to his estate every day. No matter if it was raining or snowing, he always enjoyed doing it. Yushi said to him a few times that he didn't need to work so hard, but Zhonwan did not listen. Once, when they talked about the time they had gone to school with each other, Yushi inadvertently mentioned that he hated how lucky Xian Rui was. Since he had been inseparable from Zhonwan every day. Zhonwan understood that Yushi wasn't jealous of Xian Rui, he was merely unresigned. Unresigned to the fact that he didn't become close with Zhonwan earlier in his youth, and didn't get to grow up as childhood sweethearts. Zhonwan was also very unresigned about this. If in his teens, they were together, and passed love letters to each out in secret with Imperial Preceptor Shi around, and be intimate in a place with no around, that would be very exciting. The past had already passed. Now, Zhonwan tried his best to make up for it. That day, he went to pick up Yushi as usual. The moment the carriage stopped moving, a young eunuch rushed toward it. This was the eunuch who followed Yushi into the palace every day. Noticing that Zhonwan had arrived, he rushed to pay respects to him. "Young master," Yushi said that the cabinet is busy today, and perhaps they would be busy until evening. He says for your honored self to return first. The documents passed on to the cabinet each day must be worked through before the members could leave. When there were a lot of documents, Yushi indeed could not leave. Zhonwan nodded. "All right, you can go." The young eunuch left after relaying Yushi's message, but Zhonwan did not actually leave. There was nothing to do at home anyway, so he'd just wait by the door. The days were getting warmer and warmer. It wasn't cold even during twilight. Zhonwan disembarked from the carriage and leaned against it as he closed his eyes. A short while later, an old eunuch who had escorted people out of the palace approached him to pay respects. Zhonwan smiled. "I don't dare accept your salute." "Gong gong, why are you doing this?" "This old slave was doing my duty and by happy coincidence saw young Master Zhong." After he had asked what Zhonwan was doing here and received an answer, the old eunuch said with a smile, "Young Master Zhong isn't like other people. Your honored self can wait inside the cabinet chamber. It just so happens that this old slave is delivering the refreshments His Majesty bestowed on young Prince Yu. Does young Master Zhong want to come along?" Zhonwan hesitated. The old eunuch wholeheartedly wanted to curry favor with Yushi, and said softly, "Young Master just needs to say that you are sending something from the estate to young Prince Yu." Indeed, Zhonwan wanted to see Yushi's everyday appearance while handling official business. He smiled. "Thank you, Gong Gong." The old eunuch politely led the way. It wasn't easy to enter the cabinet's restricted area. Once the old eunuch had led him there, he said deferentially, "The sirs inside are probably having their evening meal. Young master should wait here for a moment. This old slave will inform young Prince Yu of your arrival." Zhonwan nodded, well-behavedly standing in the entrance hall. He looked up at his surroundings, shallowly smiling. When he was very young, Emperor Chang'an had asked him if he wanted to be the secretary of the emperor. And Zhongyuan had arrogantly told him to wait until he passed the imperial exam. In the end, it was an empty dream. Because Zhongyuan could not become a cabinet member, he was very curious how it was inside. Standing at the entrance hall, Zhongyuan was able to hear clearly what was happening within. The clink of cups, and the rustle of little eunuchs arranging the booklets. Zhongyuan didn't know when Yushi would come out, so he held his breath. Inside the room, everyone rushed to eat their meal so that they could finish quicker and leave earlier. The old cabinet members didn't have as big of an appetite as that of a young man. They would quickly and carelessly eat a few mouthfuls and left it as that. As they waited for the others, they watched as the dishes continued to come and chatted. A cabinet member sighed. These past 2 years, my chest always felt uncomfortable. An imperial physician told me to eat less meat. My concubine controlled my meals very strictly and won't let me touch meat. I can only look at these dishes, but not eat them. Another cabinet member empathized with the first one. Yes, these past 2 years an imperial physician told me to quit drinking alcohol. At first, I was unable to quit. But my wife controlled me. Senior cabinet official soon left. Recently, I don't know who my concubine heard this from, but she did not allow ginger to be put in our dishes, saying that my old body couldn't bear it. And after that, I never had ginger again. Yushi, who was sitting quietly at the side as he ate, looked up. He glanced at 2 ministers chatting and he felt a bit jealous. However, he was in good health and there wasn't anything he should avoid eating. Zhongyuan also had never controlled what he ate. Therefore, Yushi did not join in their conversation out of embarrassment. However, he really wanted to talk a bit about his concubine. Another cabinet minister said, "My concubine won't let me eat chicken breast. She said it will harm my liver and spleen." Another cabinet minister thought of something, and added, "She doesn't let me eat pickled dishes. She said it will harm my kidneys." Yushi wanted to say something, but hesitated. He wanted to butt in a few times but was unsuccessful. After everyone had finished speaking, the room grew quiet. Yushi set down his chopsticks. Strove his hardest to lightly say the first sentence he would say today in the cabinet. "My concubine said I should not eat Hanshi-san. He said I would die." Such words rendered the cabinet members and the Zhongyuan who was waiting outside became speechless. End chapter. Those Years in Quest of Honor Mine. Chapter 84. One statement from Yushi had everybody else shut up. He had truly caused the conversation to become a bit too heavy. The senior officials had nothing to say in response. Yet, Yushi scanned everyone in the room. His gaze was filled with slight anticipation. He liked talking about this. He wanted to say some more. An awkward period of silence later, it was still senior cabinet official Soon who ultimately got out with difficulty, "Yes, that could cause death." Yushi nodded. In a tone that he believed was calm and not awkward at all, he said, "Originally, I wasn't willing to listen to him, but I couldn't withstand his frequent onslaught of reminders. I could only listen to him. What he said wasn't wrong in the first place, anyway. One really should limit their poison intake." Senior cabinet official Soon forced himself to say, "Exactly so." Yushi nodded. He picked up his handkerchief and daintily wiped off his fingertips. Then, he ordered someone to take away the bowl and chopsticks so he could continue looking over the documents. The senior cabinet officials made eye contact and rapidly finished their meals before going back to commenting on the booklets. Outside, Zhongyuan slammed his head against a pillar. He didn't want to go inside to see Yushi at all. The young eunuch in charge of serving Yushi walked over. Just as he was about to speak, Zhongyuan shushed him. "Don't announce me. I'll just wait here for him." Thanks to Yushi, Zhongyuan was no longer curious in the slightest about what the cabinet office looked like inside. He even felt a bit fortunate that he didn't have such a crazy colleague. The young eunuch nodded before silently retreating. Zhongyuan sat down. He drank tea while waiting. Almost 2 hours later, the little scholars started carrying booklets out of the room. Zhongyuan knew that it was almost time. He stood and walked out of the palace alone. Zhongyuan told everyone to help keep the fact that he had gone looking for Yushi a secret. They were only to say that he had made a trip back to the estate before returning. In less than 5 minutes, Yushi walked out. Yushi's brows were furrowed. On one hand, he scolded the family soldiers for not following his orders. On the other, he honestly couldn't handle Zhongyuan continuously tugging at his sleeve. Reluctantly, he held onto Zhongyuan's hand. The horse carriage driver put the stool away, lit the lanterns, turned the horse carriage around, and started on their way back to the estate. There was a brazier inside. Zhongyuan's hands were even colder than Yushi's though, and Yushi had been walking outside in the wind for a while. Yushi's expression was a bit dark. Zhongyuan took this opportunity to be mushy. My body is cold too, the weather today is honestly terrible. Yushi hesitated for a moment. He undid his cloak and wrapped Zhongyuan up with it. Zhongyuan sighed, feeling pleased. He asked in a low voice, "Why did you have so much business to attend to today?" Prince Yu has temporarily hidden himself away. Those on his side have all either retired or quit, Yushi said in his deep voice. Though he doesn't have any allies in the cabinet, because there are less people working in the lower levels, trivial matters have naturally gotten pushed up. Zhongyuan said softly, Prince Yu doesn't necessarily want to infuriate the emperor. He needs to act like he has already admitted defeat. That means those people under him would definitely need to hide away, too. What's the emperor's opinion? Yushi shook his head. It's not clear. He did read all of the booklets that were sent to him today, but he didn't make any comments. The cabinet have given their suggestions regarding the replacement of a few important officials, but the emperor didn't make any definitive statements. He told the cabinet to discuss it some more. Zhongyuan said, "He's testing you." Yushi made a sound of acknowledgement. I didn't say anything. Those senior officials whom the emperor will listen to are the trusted subordinates that he has personally promoted over all these years. They wouldn't listen to me. Even now, they haven't expressed any inclinations to join my side either. Saying too much is useless. Besides, Yushi calmly said, I don't have any possible replacements. These past few years, Yushi had never thought about fighting for the position of crown prince. He had also never trained any people. Speaking of this, he probably had even less influence in the court compared to Xianzheng. Zhongyuan thought about it. Old imperial preceptor, she left a few people for me. One of them is an assistant astronomer in the imperial astronomy department. Yushi held down Zhongyuan's disobedient hands. With a low voice he asked, What? You want to have that assistant astronomer tell the emperor that he discovered in the stars that I must be the crown prince? Zhongyuan laughed. He said, I'll get in contact with him tomorrow. Before waiting for Yushi to respond, Zhongyuan rushed to add, I naturally won't let anyone discover that I ever went. If I return late tomorrow, I won't come pick you up. Yushi fell silent for a moment. Then, he nodded. All right. It was late at night. Soft murmurs could be heard from Yushi's carriage as it traveled along the official path. Nice and peaceful, like the upcoming maelstrom had nothing to do with these two people. A few days later, Emperor Chang'an had the rare energy to attend the morning court. After the morning court session, he told Yushi to stay behind. The weather was slowly getting warmer. Emperor Chang'an strolled around the imperial gardens with the aid of his cane. Yushi followed behind him. Emperor Chang'an didn't speak. Not a word left Yushi's lips either. These past few days, you've been quite stressed out about cabinet business. Zhen have heard about this. Emperor Chang'an turned his head to look at Yushi. Sui Yu, if you didn't understand in the past, you should understand now after this period of hard work, right? This throne isn't easy to sit on. Emperor Chang'an stopped in his tracks. He gazed off into the distance at the spring blossoms dazedly. At your age, Zhen too wanted to help the previous emperor carry some burdens. After actually inheriting the throne, though, Zhen felt that things were truly very tiring. Yushi didn't respond. Emperor Chang'an continued to walk forward. He said in a low voice, "These past few years, Zhen have eaten late and woken up early to placate the inside while stabilizing the outside. Zhen have exhausted all energy." Zhen personally believed that even if Zhen had made a mistake in the early years, Zhen have already compensated for it by now. Who could be up next? Emperor Chang'an stared at Yushi as he had said this. Yushi's gaze was cold. He still didn't answer. Emperor Chang'an kept walking. Bibo Pond was close by. He hesitated for a moment before turning around and walking in the opposite direction. Ridicule flashed through Yushi's eyes. Emperor Chang'an was scared that he would suddenly fly into a fit and push him into the water, too. He relied on Yushi heavily now but was still guarded against him. The fact that a biological father and son had gotten to this step was quite ironic. Emperor Chang'an continued to say, "This emperor heard the senior cabinet official say that you're very diligent while reading the booklets every day. You don't speak much but do a lot. Additionally, even after entering the cabinet for so long, you still only watch and learn. You've never intervened in a single matter." Emperor Chang'an lamented. Zhen remember when Kyang Er was there, he practically wished that the entire cabinet would listen to him. "I'm not talented nor well learned," said Yushi in a nonchalant manner. "There's not much I can help with anyways." Emperor Chang'an continued to walk. He asked, "Then after you have learned for so long, have you experienced the difficulty of being someone in power?" Yushi did his best to hide the scorn in his eyes. He fell silent for a moment before saying, "It's very difficult but sometimes, having this sense of difficulty is a blessing. If I have too peaceful of a life, I fear that I won't be able to live for too long." Emperor Chang'an gave Yushi a long, hard look. He sighed. "Just say a few nice things. As a way of being filial to me." "All right." Yushi lowered his gaze. Yushi didn't look like young imperial consort Zhong. Only his eyes and eyebrows slightly resembled Emperor Chang'an's eyes from when the other had been younger. Emperor Chang'an stared into Yushi's eyes and softly said, "You grew up in the palace, Sui Yu. Did you know? You started walking really late. All the other imperial children learned how to walk before they turned 1. Only you were almost 2 but still wobbled and walked very slowly. However, every time you saw me, you wouldn't care about those things. You would run very fast. One day in the imperial gardens, you saw me from afar and started running toward me at once. None of the palace servants could catch up to you. You were running too quickly and tripped on a stone step. Both of your little hands were covered in blood. At that time, my heart honestly hurt so much that I felt like it was going to break." Both of Emperor Chang'an's hands rested on his wooden cane. He coughed twice and said while panting, "Thinking back now, Zhen was immensely regretful. At the time, why did Zhen care about etiquette so much? Zhen ought to have run forward a few steps too and picked you up well before you could have fallen." Yushi's expression was normal. "I learned to walk late. Since young, I've been in the habit of falling over. After falling enough times, I've long since gotten used to it. There's no need to mind it, Your Majesty." As he coughed, Emperor Chang'an laughed bitterly. "You still blame me?" Yushi's expression was calm. "It's the truth. I've truly gotten used to it." Emperor Chang'an knew that it was too late to try and start warming up Yushi's heart now. He didn't say anything else regarding that topic. He waved his hands. "Never mind. Accompany me a bit longer. These past few days, Prince Yu has been locked up at home and behaved very well, Emperor Chang'an said. Say. Does he really not want to fight anymore, or is he crafting another plan? Upon hearing this, Yu Shi, who was walking behind him, said, I've never had a clear understanding of Prince Yu's thoughts. I dare not make a guess. You've been his son for many years. If even you can't guess, then Zhen is even less capable. Emperor Chang'an walked up the stone stairs step by step. The Imperial Astronomy Department came to report an astronomical phenomena today. Emperor Chang'an was truly in poor health. He had started panting after merely climbing a few steps. He stopped and slowly said, originally, everything was only normal. They talked about how the spring rains would be this year and whether or not there would be floods this summer. However, this time, they also mentioned. They said that this year, Mars might be approaching Antares. Mars approaching Antares meaning a great calamity would befall the Son of Heaven. Emperor Chang'an took his time saying, Sui Yu, who is it that wishes to do harm against Zhen? Yu Shi's expression was unchanged. He answered, the matters of astronomical phenomena can be both believed or disregarded. Zhen have been in poor health this year, but Zhen feel that Zhen should be able to last 2 more years. It probably isn't the heavens that wants Zhen to go. Emperor Chang'an's voice grew colder. In a low voice, he said, the Imperial Astronomy Department also said that the 2 stars next to Antares are flashing. One is fortunate, while the other is unfortunate. Emperor Chang'an gazed at Yu Shi. His eyes were dark. These 2 stars have always represented the imperial princes. One is going to be fortunate and the other is going to be unfortunate. Tell me. Which is which? Yu Shi's expression slightly changed. Emperor Chang'an pressed down on Yu Shi's shoulder briefly. The fortunate one has been trapped by the unfortunate one. If that's the message, isn't it a bit obvious? Yu Shi inhaled deeply. I was born in the middle of July, truly the unfortunate one. Right now, Xian Qiang is under house arrest. He also truly is. Yu Shi scoffed. He didn't continue speaking. This emperor do believe these superstitious messages. In the early years, someone said that Zhen have no luck in regards to offspring. Zhen really did lose many princes and felt depressed for a long time. Emperor Chang'an narrowed his eyes. All of a sudden, he changed the topic and said, but as of now, Zhen have 3 nice and healthy sons alive. What does that mean? First, they said that Mars will stay at Antares. Then, they said that a prince will be trapped. Now, they're saying that the fortunate prince might be able to divert this astronomical phenomenon. Emperor Chang'an's voice was completely cold. Prince Yu has been waiting for many days. So, he's been using all his energy in this regard. He wants to use the words of the Imperial Astronomy Department to make me name Xian Qiang as Crown Prince. He's also using your birthdate against you. How terribly evil. Yu Shi's heart finally fell back into place. He couldn't help lamenting to himself that Zhonwan really understood Emperor Chang'an quite well. Emperor Chang'an's face was a bit dark. His expression was foul, too. It's Zhen's fault. Zhen wasted too much time before naming you as prince of the 1st rank. So long that these people think that they can change Zhen's mind. Don't worry, said Emperor Chang'an, placating Yu Shi. Zhen had just given the imperial decree to officially name you prince of the 1st rank. Yu Shi knelt and thanked the emperor for his grace. This entire process was extremely proper. He didn't say any excessive words of gratitude. Emperor Chang'an ordered him to stand up. He laughed bitterly. Why have Zhen heard that you're very talkative around Gui Yuan? You spend every day together and nobody can separate you two. But you have nothing to say to Zhen. Emperor Chang'an furrowed his brows and thought about it. He said, oh right. Who did Zhen heard this from again? They said that since Zhen have admitted you to be Zhen's son, the Imperial Clan Court and Ministry of Internal Affairs have both sent a lot of stuff to your estate. And people are already starting to write down where you stay each night now. Emperor Chang'an burst into laughter. How come Zhen heard that the entire booklet is filled with? Yushi calmly said, all Zhongyuan. Yushi's expression changed a bit. He found Zhongyuan slightly embarrassing. However, he also couldn't resist saying, he didn't even know what the booklet was for. He thought that I was required to go find the person whose name was written under the date on that day. Thus, he asked for dozens of those journaling booklets. When he had nothing to do, he would simply write his name onto them, filling every page out to the brim. As of now, Yushi couldn't help adding, he's probably already scheduled the next few decades of my life. End chapter.